Thinking about moving to Highlands Ranch, Colorado? Then you've probably heard a lot of people say that it's one of the best places to live in Denver Metro. But here's the question. Is it actually worth the price? Or are you just simply paying for a premium for the name? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be answering today. Because Highlands Ranch has a lot going for it, and it has great schools, miles of trails, 4 recreation centers, beautiful neighborhoods, but it also has higher priced homes, HOA fees, traffic during rush hour, and depending on your lifestyle, there may actually be better communities out there for you. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through everything I think you should know before making a move to Highlands Ranch. We'll cover what it's actually like to live there, best neighborhoods, schools, commute times, biggest pros, biggest cons, and at the very end, I'll tell you if I would personally recommend Highlands Ranch to my own family if we were moving to Colorado today. Hi, my name is Andrew Bormans, and along with my wife Alana, we help families relocate throughout the South Denver Metro every single week. And if you're thinking about moving to Highlands Ranch, Parker, Castle Rock, Castle Pines, Lone Tree, or anywhere around the Denver area, this channel is designed to help you make the right decision before you buy a home. So let's get started. So what exactly is Highlands Ranch? Highlands Ranch is a master plan community located in Douglas County, just south of Denver. Today, it's home to a little over 100,000 residents, making it one of the largest suburban communities in Colorado. But honestly, the facts aren't the reason people move here. What makes Highlands Ranch different is how intentionally it was built. Instead of neighborhoods being added over time without much planning, Highlands Ranch was designed from the beginning around how families actually live. Neighborhoods connected to parks, parks connected to trails, trails connected to recreation centers. School, shopping, and everyday conveniences were built into the community as it grew. And after showing homes here, that's one of the first things people notice is it feels organized, it feels clean, it's easy to get around, and it just kind of feels like a place where people actually spend time outside instead of simply driving from one neighborhood to the other. So now you know what Highlands Ranch is, but that leads to another question. Why do so many people choose to live here instead of Parker, Castle Rock, or Littleton? In my experience, it really comes down to 4 different things. Number 1 is schools. Highlands Ranch is served primarily by the Douglas County School District, and for many families relocating in Colorado, that's one of the first things that they research. But here's something people don't always think about. Even if you don't have kids, strong schools often help support long-term demand when it's time to sell your home. So they matter more than just education. Number 2, the outdoor lifestyle. Highlands Ranch was built for people who actually enjoy being outside. You've got more than 70 miles of trails, hundreds of acres of open space, parks, playgrounds, sporting fields, and 4 incredible recreation centers. Whether you're training for a marathon, taking a dog for a walk, or spending Saturday at the playground with your kids, there's always somewhere to go. Number 3, I'd say, is convenience. So one thing I hear all the time after clients move here is everything is so close. Costco, Target, King Soopers, Whole Foods, restaurants, gyms, medical offices, just about anything you can think of, home improvement stores. You don't spend your weekends driving all over town just to check things off your to-do list. And number 4, I'd say, is community. This might actually be my favorite one. Highlands Ranch just feels like a place where people just know their neighbors. You'll find youth sports almost every weekend, community events throughout the year, holiday celebrations, neighborhood parks full of kids, and people who genuinely plan to stay here for a long time. And that creates a different feeling than communities where people are constantly moving in and out. If I had to describe Highlands Ranch in one sentence, I'd say this. Highlands Ranch wasn't designed just to build houses. It was designed to build a community. And after helping families move here, I think that's one of the biggest reasons people absolutely fall in love with this place. But of course, before you decide if it's the right community for you, you probably want to know exactly where it is, what the commute looks like, and whether it's convenient for your everyday life. So now that you know what Highlands Ranch is, where exactly is it? And more importantly, what it's like actually living here day to day. So Highlands Ranch sits in Douglas County, just south of Denver. It's bordered by Littleton to the north, Lone Tree to the east, Chatfield State Park to the west, and Castle Rock is just a little bit further south. One of the reasons I personally like Highlands Ranch is that you're close to just about everything. You don't necessarily feel like you're living in the middle of a busy city or anything like that. One thing I always tell my relocation clients is your commute can completely change your experience living here. So let's talk about what you can realistically expect. If you work in Denver Tech Center, Highlands Ranch is honestly one of my favorite locations. Depending on exactly where you live and traffic that day, most commutes fall kind of between a nice sweet spot of 15 to 25 minutes. That's one of the reasons why new professionals choose to live here. Now, if you're commuting in downtown Denver every day, that's a little bit of a different story. During rush hour, you're generally looking at somewhere between 30 to 45 minutes. And yes, on bad traffic days, it can be a bit longer than that, closer to an hour. And I always like to be upfront about that because I'd rather people have realistic expectations before they move. If you travel often, Denver International Airport is usually about 35 to 50 minutes away, depending on traffic. That's close enough for regular travel, but not so close that you're hearing planes over your head all day. So something people don't always think about is how much time do you spend just running errands? And that's one area where Highlands Ranch really shines. Let's go Target, Costco, Whole Foods, King Soopers, Home Depot, Lowe's, restaurants, hospitals. Pretty much everything you need is within about 10 to 15 minutes. And honestly, that's one of the many reasons that families stay here. So here's something I don't think gets talked about enough. Convenience isn't exciting until you don't have it. Saving 10 or 15 minutes every day because everything is nearby may not sound like a big deal. Over the course of the year, that adds up to a lot more time spent with your family or doing the things that you actually enjoy. That's one of those little benefits people rarely think about before moving, but they definitely appreciate after they've lived there for a while. So you know what Highlands Ranch is. You know where it's located. You have a pretty good idea of what everyday life looks like. The next question is probably the biggest one. What does it actually cost to buy a home here in Highlands Ranch? The answer depends on what stage of life you're in. If you're buying your first home, Highlands Ranch still offers townhomes, condos, and smaller single-family homes that can be a great way to get into the community. Inventory changes throughout the year, but there are still opportunities for buyers who want Highlands Ranch lifestyle without jumping straight into the luxury market. Let's chat about move-up buyers. As your budget increases, you start seeing larger homes and bigger lots. 3-car garages, finished basements, updated kitchens, a neighborhood with even more community amenities. This is really where Highlands Ranch shines because there's so many great family neighborhoods at this price point. And then you have the luxury side of the Highlands Ranch. Communities like BackCountry and Falcon Hills offer custom homes, gated living, incredible amenities, larger floor, and even in some cases, beautiful mountain views. If you're looking for luxury without moving further south into Castle Pines, Highlands Ranch has really impressive options. But here's something I always tell my buyers. Don't focus on purchase price, just focus on what you're actually getting for your money. Highlands Ranch is generally more expensive than some nearby communities, but you're also buying 4 recreation centers, more than 70 miles of trails, excellent parks, strong schools, and a well-maintained community, and one of the most desirable suburban locations in Colorado. And that's why so many buyers decide that the premium is worth it. Here's the advice I give almost every relocation client. Don't stretch your budget just because you fell in love with a neighborhood. Sometimes spending a little bit less in Parker or Castle Rock gets you significantly more house while still giving you an incredible quality of life. Other times, Highlands Ranch just ends up being the better value because it's schools, amenities, convenience, and location. And there isn't one right answer. It just depends on your priorities. And honestly, that's one of the biggest reasons people want to work with us. We spend a lot of time helping buyers compare communities before even starting looking at specific homes. So let's say you figured out your budget. You know Highlands Ranch fits you financially. The next question becomes, which neighborhood should I actually live in? And honestly, this is where Highlands Ranch really separates itself from other communities because every neighborhood has its own personality, its own feel, and its own ideal buyer. But let's break them down. So we've covered what Highlands Ranch is, where it's located, what homes cost. But here's the question almost every relocation client asks me, which neighborhood should I actually live in? And honestly, I think that's a much better question than asking, what's the best neighborhood? Because there isn't one best neighborhood, there's only a neighborhood that best fits your lifestyle, your budget, your commute, and your family. So let me walk you through a few of the neighborhoods that we end up recommending most often. Let's start with BackCountry because it's probably the neighborhood that people ask us most about. If you're looking at more luxury living, gated access, resort style amenities, beautiful homes, and some incredible front range and mountain views, BackCountry is just really hard to beat. It's also home to the Sundial House, which is one of the nicest private community clubhouses anywhere in Denver metro area. We usually recommend BackCountry to buyers who want luxury amenities, strong sense of community, without moving further south into Castle Pines, which is a little bit further from Denver. Now, this is one of my favorite neighborhoods for growing families. You've got great parks, an excellent trail system, strong schools, beautiful tree-lined streets, and a whole variety of home styles. It has classic neighborhood feel where you actually see kids riding your bikes. If someone called our team tomorrow and said, we've got 2 young kids, a budget around $850,000, Firelight would almost certainly be the first neighborhoods we'd show them. The Hearth is another neighborhood that continues to be incredibly popular. One thing I like about the Hearth is the balance it offers. It feels established, but still relatively modern. You've got great access to schools, parks, trails, shopping, and commuting is convenient from just about anywhere in the neighborhood. If you're looking for the sweet spot between convenience, newer homes, community feel, the Hearth deserves to be on your short list, for sure. Now let's chat about Highwoods. Highwoods has a very different feel. If you appreciate mature landscaping, larger trees, and neighborhoods with a little bit more character, this definitely is the one to explore. It doesn't feel like quite as cookie cutter as some newer developments, but that's exactly why many buyers are actually really drawn to it. Buyers who appreciate established neighborhoods with long-term appeal usually end up loving Highwoods. Another neighborhood we recommend is Falcon Hills. It's another luxury option within Highlands Ranch, and it's known for larger custom homes, golf proximity, a quieter atmosphere. If luxury means space, privacy, and a custom home to you, Falcon Hills should absolutely be part of your home search. As you can probably tell, there really isn't one best neighborhood in Highlands Ranch. It really comes all down to priorities. So do you want luxury? Do you want walkability? Do you want bigger lots, a shorter commute, better trail access? Depends on also where you work, whether you work downtown Denver, Denver Tech Center, or to the west. Every buyer's answer is different. And honestly, that's why our team spends so much time helping relocation clients narrow down communities before we even start looking at homes. Buying the wrong neighborhood is a much harder mistake to fix than buying the wrong paint color. That's a lesson that we try to help every client avoid. So now that you've got a pretty good idea about what Highlands Ranch is, where it's located, what the homes kind of cost, and which neighborhoods might fit your lifestyle. But here's a question I think matters even more. What's it actually like to live here day to day? Because at the end of the day, you're not really buying a house. You're kind of choosing where your family's going to spend the next 5, 10, maybe even 20 years. And honestly, I think that's where Highlands Ranch really shines. I want you to imagine this. It's Saturday, grabbing a cup of coffee, maybe heading out for a walk with the dog, or taking your kids out to one of the nearby parks. Within just a few minutes, you've got miles of trails, beautiful open spaces, playgrounds, and one of the best trail systems anywhere in the Denver metro area. That's one of the reasons people tend to spend a lot more time here outside. One of the biggest advantages of living in Highlands Ranch is access to the 4 rec centers. And these aren't just small neighborhood gyms. They offer indoor and outdoor pools, fitness centers, basketball, pickleball, tennis, climbing walls classes, youth programs, really something for almost every stage of life. It's one of those amenities that many buyers don't fully appreciate until they've actually lived there. I also think Highlands Ranch has one of the strongest community cultures in South Denver Metro. Throughout the year, you'll find farmers markets, community events, holiday celebrations, youth sports, charity runs. It feels like people genuinely want to be involved, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons families stay here for so long. One thing we've noticed after helping families relocate here is that people rarely call us 6 months later and talk about the house. They talk about the neighbors they met, the trails that they walked every morning or evening, their kids making friends. And that's when you realize they didn't just buy a home. They built a life. Of course, no community is perfect. Highlands Ranch has a lot going for it, but it also has a few trade-offs. So if you're seriously considering moving here, here are some things I think you'll absolutely love and a few things that I think you should know before making that decision. If you're looking for a place to put down roots, this is one of Highlands Ranch's biggest strengths. The recreation opportunities here are just honestly hard to beat. Between the trails, parks, recreation centers, sporting fields, and open space, there's always something to do, especially if your family enjoys staying active. Even buyers who don't currently have children often tell us they appreciate living in a community with strong schools because they understand how much it matters over time. I know I've mentioned convenience a few times already, but it's worth mentioning again because it genuinely changes your daily life. Less driving, easier errands, more time with your family. Those are the little things that kind of just add up. Highlands Ranch has remained one of the most desirable suburban communities in Colorado for years. While no one can predict the future, it's a community that has consistently attracted buyers because of its location, amenities, and overall quality of life. Highlands Ranch generally isn't the most affordable community in the South Denver metro. You're paying a premium for location, amenities, schools, and overall desirability. Most neighborhoods have HOA dues. Personally, I think many residents feel that the amenities justify the costs, but if you're someone who doesn't like HOA rules, Highlands Ranch may not be the perfect fit for you. During rush hour, you got C470, Santa Fe, and I-25 can all become congested. It's simply part of living in a popular suburban community like near Denver. If you're the type looking for rooftop bars, walkable nightlife, or a downtown atmosphere, Highlands Ranch probably isn't where I'd send you. It's built around families, not entertainment districts. Depending on the neighborhood, some buyers are surprised by how close homes can be together. If having acreage or a large amount of privacy is one of your biggest priorities, there are other communities that we would recommend first. One thing we always tell buyers is this: stop looking for the perfect community. It doesn't exist, never will. Instead, find the community that's best fit for your priorities. Our job is to help you figure out if it's the best place for you. So after everything we've talked about, location, neighborhoods, the lifestyle, the pros, and the things you should know before moving here, the question is, would I actually recommend Highlands Ranch? Absolutely, for the right person. I don't believe there's a perfect community. Every city has its trade-offs. Every neighborhood has its strengths. Every family has different priorities. But if you're looking for great schools, an active outdoor lifestyle, beautiful parks, miles of trails, strong community involvement, convenient shopping, and a place where your family can grow over the next 10, maybe 20 years, Highlands Ranch deserves to be at the top of your list. On the other hand, if your dream is living on several acres, owning horses, having complete privacy, or even avoiding HOA neighborhoods, I'd probably recommend looking elsewhere first. Maybe Castle Rock, Monument, parts of Parker, or even some communities further south, kind of closer to Larkspur maybe. One thing we tell every client is this: don't fall in love with a house before you fall in love with the community, because eventually the excitement of that new kitchen wears off, the fresh paint becomes normal, you stop noticing the countertops, but you'll drive those roads, you'll shop those grocery stores, walk those trails, and spend time with your neighbors for years. That's why we believe that the community you choose is just as important as the home itself. So if I had to score Highlands Ranch, this is where it would land me. So this is called the Borman score. With 8 categories, I put schools as a 9.5 out of 10, outdoor lifestyle, 10 out of 10, commute, 8 out of 10, convenience, 9.5 out of 10, dining and entertainment, 7.5 out of 10, home value, 8.5 out of 10, family friendly, 10 out of 10, long-term appeal, 9 out of 10, for an overall score of a 9.2 out of 10. Overall, Highlands Ranch earns a 9.2 out of 10 from us, and honestly, it's actually going to be one of the highest scores that you'll see on this channel. It's an outstanding community, but like every community, it's not perfect for everyone. Hopefully this video gave you a better understanding of what it's like to actually live in Highlands Ranch. If you're trying to decide between Highlands Ranch, Parker, Castle Rock, Castle Pines, Lone Tree, or anywhere else around the South Denver metro area, we'd genuinely be happy to help. Every week we help families compare communities, narrow down neighborhoods, and build a game plan before they even start looking at homes. And if I actually didn't answer one of your questions in this video, let me know down in the comments. There's a good chance that your question will become a future video, because if you're wondering about it, someone else is probably too. If your situation is a little bit more personal, please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. Whatever's easiest for you. Even if you're 6 months or a year away from moving, we're always happy to help talk through your situation, answer your questions, and point you in the right direction. You'll find all of our contact information in the description below. And if you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel and give us a nice thumbs up. Every week, we're going to try to release new videos about Colorado communities, neighborhoods, market updates, and everything you should know before making that move. So thanks so much for watching, and I really appreciate you spending some time with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.